Good morning, students. How was your day? Good? That's great. So, for today's class, we will be moving to a new chapter, which is chapter 4, Learning World. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to describe formal listening and speaking on phone calls, such as booking a hotel room. Compare and contrast between formal and informal listening and speaking. Explain and support their experience on formal listening and speaking with valid examples based on teacher activation. And lastly, demonstrate and critique peers' formal listening and speaking based on the given questions in an interview mode. First of all, let me ask you some questions. Where have you traveled to before? Let's start from the first row. Min. Wow, Thailand. I love Thai food. It is so delicious. Yes, Rashini? Oh, wow, Australia. That's awesome. Adit? Japan. That's great. I love the culture and country. So, thank you everyone for sharing your experience. I think all of you agree with me. Traveling and knowing more about this world is really amazing and wonderful. Let's have a small warm-up session right now. Take out your exercise book and copy the questions from the slides. So as you can see in the slides, there are a total 4 questions here, and you are required to circle the correct answer. I will play the audio now.
Majestic Hotel, can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to find out about your room rates in July, please.
One moment, please. I'll put you through to reservations. Reservations, can I help you?
Yes, I'm inquiring about room rates in July, please.
Yes, of course, sir. Do you have specific dates in mind?
Yes, we're thinking of coming up the weekend of the 6th of July and staying for about a week, going back on Saturday the 13th or Sunday the 14th.
I see, sir. And for how many people would that be?
Well, there's myself, my wife, and our 2 children. They're 9 and 5.
Well, there are various options. We could do a double for you and your wife, and a room with 2 singles for your children. Not adjacent, though.
Is it not possible to have a family room for all of us?
Alright, students. Now I will play the second time. You may double check your answer. Let us check the answer together. Use blue pen to mark a tick if you answer it correctly, and also please circle the correct answer if you get it wrongly. Well done, everyone. Right now, let's move on to today's lesson.
Okay, so let's move on to the formal and informal ways of having a conversation. So first, let's see the difference between these two. Formal way is when you're talking to someone you don't know or to someone you're trying to create a good first impression. And this usually happens in an interview when you're trying to impress your interviewer. Or you can use formal way when you're talking to your principal, or maybe when you're making a reservation. And meanwhile, informal way is when the communications, vocabulary, and syntax are more casual because you're talking to someone you already know. You're conversing with your siblings, your friends, neighbors, cousins, relatives. So this is when you use informal way. So some examples of words we use in these two are informal way. If you want to know who you're talking to, you would say, "May I know who is online, please?" Or "Could you please tell me who I'm talking to?" But in informal way, you just say, "Who's this?" So these are the difference. Okay, so let's move on to the formal ways of having a conversation. These are some of the important factors that you have to keep in your mind whenever you're trying to have a conversation formally. So first is greetings. Greetings is the most important factor. You can use good morning, you can use good evening, good afternoon to start off a conversation formally. And then you should briefly introduce yourself so that the person you're talking to knows who they are speaking with. You should say, "Good morning, I'm Anusha." If you're on the phone, you say, for example, you say, "Good day, this is me, Anusha speaking." And then you should address the person in front of you or the person you're going to respectfully. For example, you're talking to receptionist, you should say, "Miss, could I please talk to Mr. John?" Or if you're trying to have a conversation with the principal, since you know principal are in a higher position, you should always address them with madam or sir. These are some of the ways you can address the person respectfully. Next, you should always use long and full sentences with correct grammar. It's okay if your grammar is not perfect because not everyone has perfect grammar, but try to use the good and correct ones. Also make sure you're using full sentences and not short forms. For example, in an informal way you say, "I gotta go," but in a formal way you say, "I'm sorry, but I have to go right now." So these are the difference. Next, you have to use the formal phrases when you're having a conversation formally. For example, you use "do you," "may I," "could you," or if you want to use this in a sentence, you can say, "May I talk to Mr. John, please?" or "Could you hold on a moment, please?" So these are the examples of phrases you can use. And finally, make sure you always end your conversation politely. So in the formal way, you always say thank you is like the most common word you use to end a conversation. So say thank you, have a good day. Or you say, "It was a pleasure to meet you, I hope to see you again. I hope to meet you soon. It was a nice meeting." Something like that. Okay, informal way, you always say bye and you just leave since you already know the person. And next we're going to have a very short Q&A session to refresh on what we just learned. Okay, so first is, how would you start a formal conversation? What would you say? Greetings. Okay, yes, greetings. But what are the example of greetings you may use? Good morning. What else? Yes, you may use good morning, good evening, good day. Yeah, and then after the greetings, what do? You introduce yourself so that your speaker knows who they are talking to, so that they can also address you. Like, for example, you say, "Good morning, I'm Anusha," and then they know, okay, they're talking to Anusha, and they'll be like, "Okay, Miss Anusha, how can I help you?" Something like that. Okay, imagine you're in a scenario where you are talking to receptionist and you want to say that you want to talk to Mr. John. How would you say it? Use formal phrases. Yeah. How would you say? Give me an example. "May I please talk to Mr. John?" Yeah, that is a good example. And then how do you end a conversation? Politely. "Thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you. Have a good day." You can say goodbye. Like you say, "Thank you, it was a pleasure to meet you. Goodbye." These are formal. Okay, so it's good to know that some of you still remember what we just learned. So yeah, that's all.
Okay, students, so now you have already learned on how to communicate in a formal manner. So moving on to the next part of our lesson, we're going to watch this video and we're going to learn a very, very key aspect on formal communication.
Good morning, Chic Boutique. How may I help you?
I'd like to speak to Mr. Morgan, please.
Who's calling, please?
This is John Wright from International Fashion Supplies.
Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
John Wright. That's W-R-I-G-H-T.
Okay, Mr. Wright. I'll try and put you through. I'm afraid the line's engaged. Would you like to hold?
Can I leave a message?
Certainly.
Could you please tell Mr. Morgan our latest shipment has been delayed and that the 300 dresses he ordered should arrive next Friday?
Dress order delayed. Arriving next Friday.
Yes, and would you please ask him to give me a call as soon as the shipment arrives?
Of course. Could you let me have your number, please?
Yes, it's 01632 96094.
That's 01632 96094.
Yes, that's right. Thanks for your help. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So students, if you have watched the video carefully, you actually saw this particular customer called the admin or the staff in the company of the boutique actually to say a few things, maybe making a complaint. So if you have listened to it properly, if you have watched it properly, you can see that he actually made a complaint and they requested to look into that issue. So what did you see here was that particular admin from Chic Boutique repeated whatever he said to make sure it is clarified, to make sure it is clear in that conversation. So that is what we call as paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is has many different type of methods to do. But what we are going to learn today is we repeat what we hear in a very simple way. For an example, he said the order was delayed and the $300 dress was not delivered and all that. So in this particular version, we realized that Chic Boutique admin was actually saying that, okay, order delayed, dress not delivered. So only these simple points for the clarification with the customer. Now, when it comes to paraphrasing and note-taking is very important to ensure that whatever we hear is, not confused, or we don't get messed up when we are writing, when we are speaking about something. So the first step to do when it comes to paraphrasing and note-taking will be listen. You listen to all the important details only, where whatever that you hear and whatever that you feel is important for a further communication, you listen to those points. And step 2, you immediately take note of it. That means write those important details on a piece of paper, or if you're using a laptop or a computer, you can type that in. And final step will be speak it out. That means you say it again. You repeat whatever that you have, taken note of, in the sense to clear or to make sure it is the right information that you're getting from someone else. Now let's look into this example and try out our restaurant setting conversation in using paraphrasing with simple techniques. Okay, so let me share my whiteboard. So if you can actually see in this particular whiteboard segment here, I've already given you 5 dialogues or 5 conversation sentences, very short sentences that a customer is actually saying to them, the waiter or the person in charge in a restaurant setting. So now I'm going to teach you an example, a very key example on how to actually do paraphrasing. Now when it comes to paraphrasing, the first thing you have to do is look at important points and you have to note it down and you have to say it again. So look at this sentence. I would like to have salad and pumpkin soup. So the most important thing here is salad and pumpkin soup. So the paraphrased way of you saying is salad and pumpkin soup. So we can see this is the paraphrase thing that we will say to a customer. For an example, I'm saying, I would like to have salad and pumpkin soup. And you reply me as a waiter, salad and pumpkin soup, to make sure that is the right thing that we are ordering. Next, I would like to have 2 cups of coffee and 3 sandwiches. So what you have to say is 2 cups of coffee and 3 sandwiches. Okay, now let's hear it from Anusha. Anusha, can you try question number 3? It has been 30 minutes. My order is not here yet. So what do you think you should say? Yes, exactly. Order delayed. Order delayed, and I will check on it. Correct. Next, we would like to come to a restaurant Saturday night. So if you can see, they're going to make a reservation or they're going to book a table. So when they're booking a table, what is the most important note that they're supposed to take? The date and the time. So Saturday night, right? Yes. And finally, let's hear it from Harisa. Can you try the final sentence? 5 of us will be coming to your restaurant. Very good. 5 of us, in the sense of how many people are going to be reserving the particular table or the particular slot or that session, depending on your customer. So 5 of you. Okay, 5 of you or 5 of them. That should be fine. Okay. So this is what we actually call by paraphrasing. Paraphrasing doesn't only mean that you have to turn over the entire the entire sentence. You can just take out the important points and just say it again for better clarification. Okay, good. Now going back to our slides, next we'll be moving on to the next slot, which will be handled by the next teacher.
Okay, now that I see that all of you are already familiar with paraphrasing and note taking, so let's put that into practice, all right? Are you guys excited? Yes. Okay, so before we begin our tutorial session, let's, can I have all of you to find a partner and pair up? I will give you guys about 2 minutes. Wait, 2 minutes will be, is quite long, so I will give you guys 30 seconds. So chop chop. Hurry up. All right, now that I see that all of you are already paired up, so let's take a look at the worksheet that I gave you earlier. So can anyone tell me what's the topic of our worksheet? Yes, Nandini? Holiday, yes! Who loves holidays? Raise up your hands. Yay, everyone loves holidays. Huh? Anusha, you don't like holidays? Ah, so you prefer schools over holiday. So we have a very diligent student here. Okay, without further ado, let's continue to our worksheet, our tutorial session. So the task required you to ask your partner the following questions and write down the important notes on the empty spaces below. Okay, to not confuse you guys, the one on my right side will be partner A and the one on my left side will be partner B. So partner A will go first and ask partner B the questions, and partner B will write down the answers. And they will take turn, partner B will take turn to ask partner A questions, and partner A will we write the important notes on the worksheet given. It will be the same until question 3, but question 3 is a bit versatile, so you can either write or even draw the answers given by your partners. So for example, okay, the question is describe your favorite holiday. So for example, your partner answered, oh, I love Hari Raya because I got a lot of Eid money. So you can either write Eid money, or even if you have creativity in you, you have the skills to draw, you can draw Eid money. But don't worry, if you don't have the skills to do it, you can write it. All right? Okay, so take your time. I will give you about 5 minutes, and after that, I will collect it. All right? Okay. Okay, time's up. I see that most of you are doing well without any assistance. So pat yourself at the back for doing a great job. Okay, so now can partner A give me the worksheet, and we'll end the tutorial session here.
Hi everyone. So now I would like to summarize the lesson for today. As you all know, you all have been taught on a topic learning the world. So first you all have been given an audio and listen to the audio carefully and answer some questions. Following with, you all have learned about formal and informal conversation in various settings. For example, you have been taught how to talk in a phone call when you're booking a hotel. Moving on with another part, where you all have been given a video. You all have to watch the video first about ethic in a restaurant context. So you all have watched the video and come up with dialogues. You all have to paraphrase the dialogue and orally present in front of your friends just now. And following with, as the last part, you all have a discussion among each other on the experience that you have had before this, like you have traveled to a different country and you have been booking a hotel before learning this. You have been attempting, so you have a sharing experience among each other. So throughout this lesson, I hope that you have learned the importance of informal and formal conversation in various settings, so that students, you all have to be more intentional about how you share information to someone, which is it is informal or it is an informal. So that's all from me. Thank you. So now I would like to talk about the 3 levels of proficiency that we used in our assessment task. So first is low proficiency level. This is on students will begin to listen and respond appropriately. They also will start to develop their ideas. In the set induction, we have used this level where students will listen to the audio carefully and answer some simple questions. The next proficiency level is average proficiency level, where students will begin to show confidence in listening and talking. They also will listen carefully and respond with increasing appropriateness. Where in pre-listening stage, we used a formal and informal explanation to the students by giving them some question to clarify, and they also learn how to talk in a formal and informal way. In the while listening stage also, they will be given a video. They have to watch the video and they have to act out the roles, paraphrase the dialogues, and present it orally to the other students in front of the class. Moving on with the third level, which is high proficiency level, where students will start listen and talk confidentially in different contexts, exploring and also communicating ideas, where they will show more understanding in discussion. There will be also very use of vocabulary. In the post-listening stage, we have used where discussion among students through checklists occur. So that's all from me. Thank you.